Hello, everybody. I'm getting a little jelly of people pulling good things out of this Joe Hendry. I am getting takedowns and armor medals. Not even something I'm going to save on my account. Ugh, frustrating. Anyways, we're going to hop into some Titan gameplay after I do this. And don't kick out. That'd be cool. Yeah, you ain't kicking out of death. There we go. No whammy, no whammy. It's like getting a pull. It's like, come on, come on. So many good things people are getting. Come on. Ugh. Fine. Whatever. Add that to the list of things we don't need. Anyways, alright. Today is Trickster Day. That is the day of the week it is. Tier 4. Unfortunately, we cannot do what I want to do, and that is to play KO. It's one of the few days that blow up the entire board, even on the Tier 4. So that leaves us with very limited. And I do feel for those who don't have a Randy Orton or this guy or, you know, this guy that we're going to pair him with. So, because we can't do the KO effect, we're going to do the 10 MP effect. Kofi is just there to get beat up. Our focus is Woods. We are going to load up Woods with a little bit of health and a whole lot of multiply gems. Strength. Okay? Alright. Now, we are utilizing a double hot tag. This kind of effect does work, especially with these guys, and you're going to see what I'm talking about. Okay? So we're going to go in. Now, I'm going to rush through this. I'm not going to sit here and slow play it. There are some things I'm going to do, but we are just going to simply swipe with Kofi. We don't care about doing damage. Just get past it. If you've got gear, you're more than welcome to do some damage. If you have the bloodsucker plate, sure. But otherwise, he's just trash in this game mode, besides giving us 10 MP. Okay. We're going to try to do the Cena effect. Okay? We're going to go in here. We're going to tag. And we're just going to go ahead and do what I said, that Cena effect. So we're going to throw this out, and then we go ahead and break them. And you're just going to repeat that over and over. This is going to do some damage. It's going to be better when we go to do a true hot tag with Kofi here in a second. And it's not this turn, it's the following. So we do have to wait a full turn cycle. But we're still chipping away at that damage. And with these two, they have a decent amount of health. They're both Hype 4, so they're going to both survive the big hits. Alright. So this turn, see, the boss is going to kill us. So we're going to go ahead and do 2 hits, and then we're going to tag Kofi in to take the big hit. Now, you can really, with this one, because of the fact that Kofi heals himself, and the additional, you could probably get Kofi to survive, I'm thinking at least 2 big hits. You may have to heal yourself, but he should survive 2 big hits if you heal him up with his gems, leech gems. You see, I think we've done close to 3 billion at this point with just using woods. Now is when we get a big stack when we tag back in. And let's go ahead and just break that 16 down there. There we go. We're going to take the big hit. And we've done, what's that? Close to 4 billion. We should start seeing a bigger hit this go round for sure. Our purples are already doing that 1 million before we put a multi on top of them. It's going to go up again right here. 1.3. Now, again, we're going with some times 16s. This is going to be some big boys. And Woods is able to just live because of the fact that he is taking the smaller hits here. Now, again, the last turn here, we're going to go ahead and get Woods to do one good hit. And then tag in Kofi. That way he can heal before the next big hit. We've got another turn, though, before then. And we're going to drop down and damage this next go-round. But that's fine. We've already done, what is that? 8 billion damage. That's billion, not million. We've done 8... Or, I'm sorry, it's 7 billion. It's at 42.7. So it's closer to 7 billion. Little tickle right there. We could probably skip that going forward. All right. Throws out the leech. We heal. And what else? Steal health. And steal the opponent's turn. So we healed there. So let's just go ahead and play this through. And we will skip the last hit because we don't need it really. And this is a non-DK Cena setup. I understand I've got some whaley shit on Woods. It is playable without. You're going to want to find a way to either A, clean up the board, like how I have the Rumble, but you see it still leaves stuff on there. It's just there to help recycle these blues. You could use a purple, what's it, a Moment of Bliss or something like that. All kind of things that you can do to try to get that blue reloaded. But absolute dominant pair at our boss here. Or, I'm sorry, at this Titan. Let's see. I can't really hit that 16 on the bottom. That's fine. Now remember, this turn, we want to go ahead and heal Kofi. So we're going to get one stack because it takes, well, really it only takes 2 turns to heal Kofi. But we're going to go ahead and just get a little Kofi effect. That is fine. There we go, and we're close to that 12 billion or 10 billion mark right there. All right, heal Kofi. And you can hit this, it doesn't matter. If you have gear, if you have a snowfall plate, if you have this or that, sure, why not? But it's not a have to. See, he didn't really do much. We just healed. Now we're going to take the hit. And we just repeat. He should live through this one. He will not live through the next one, so we're not worried about healing again. Okay, but we're going to tag him in before the end to take the big hit. So let's switch back to Homeboy. Mr. Woods. I think they did a 9th anniversary thing with Woods. I really enjoy Woods. I prefer the Happy New Day versus the New Day. But it's been so difficult for them without Big E to really pull off what they did, because Big E was such a just charismatic person. That whole Bootios and Trombone series was fantastic. It was just fantastic. And all we're doing is just chipping away. And again, this is not doing, 50 billion. There's some bigger move sets that we can do. This is just one I wanted to show this pair off. A lot of people have this pair. And if you got Hall of Fame JBL, man, that dude can live and do some work. But that's the key. We want to survive. So in a lot of the Merrick's videos, you will hear, this is with max levels. Well, we're meaning, we put the max amount of coins that we can into that person. That is true, especially when it comes to the Titan for health. With many of the Hype 3s, you could put on a Hall of Fame and get them to live through one big hit, which allows them to keep going. But you have to put the coin invested into it. If you don't, then you're not going to live past that big hit. Alright, what are we doing here? We're on the big hit? We're on the big hit. Okay. And we're just chipping away. That's all we're doing. And I'm going to make this a little bit lengthier just to show you there's some other options out there. Maybe you've got LA Knight from the kickoff wall on Zombie Month and just haven't found a good spot for him, because to be honest, he kind of fell off, right? It's the meta has moved past the 100 million point, and that's where he was best. He was very strong at that 100 million. But this year, we're at the 150 to 200 in Showdown, so we have to adjust, right? And so he's good again if you have that new, Rumble plate, the yellow mini Rumble, and you put that on top of the Piper plate. He's going to be very good that way. But we'll go ahead and throw him into a match. Alright, again, we're going to do some pretty big damage here. And then we'll hop out and we will show another setup. Now, Woods and Kofi, too, have a health moment in their little moment that they have, so keep that in mind. They're able to really get some good surviving out of here. All right. He could still do about another 1.5 billion per, so 3 billion per. And we're looking at just a little bit over 20 billion total. After you go through that, we started at 50 billion. We're down to 31. And like I said, you could get about another 3 billion out of them. So call that 21 billion total. Very good options there. Moving on. By the way, if you don't like the damage output that you're doing, you can reset. You have to do it before you take your final blow. Got a lot less health this time, so let's go ahead and put LA Knight. Now, he does not have a hot tag. Let's keep that in mind. We're going to go ahead. You could pair him with somebody that has a hot tag. Up to you. We're going to go ahead and pair him with Seth. Yeah, Seth will be fine for what we're trying to do here. And then we're going to load up Seth because this, we're mainly going to be using two moves. We're going to be using the reanimated superplex and the infected face basher. Okay? And that infected face basher loads up Seth. So Seth, we've got his levels maxed. We're going to go ahead and make him a little healthier. Let's see, we're going to do a Hall of Famer, and it doesn't matter who, because like I said, he's going to be loaded, and just two clicking. And this is just utilizing the hot tag, and y'all are going to be able to see something special with that too. Come on, give me a Hall of Famer, any will do. That'll work. And then let's get in some gem modification with this. Actually, you know what? We don't need this. Keep in mind, not Ron Simmons, but keep in mind that you want a health person there if you're not hype 4. Hype 3 should still be able to live. You're just going to want a little bit of extra health with one of them right there. And let's go ahead and just load up. Take from Woods. And let's see if he does. When we tag into the match, we're going to deal damage and increase your gem damage by 70% for one turn. So not huge. That's probably one of the weaker tag links. On the strap, I've got the Botchman and the 8th anniversary. So there is a little bit of stackability there. And then I've got the Piper plate. And we are just... Let's go ahead and load up here. We're going to throw our Ron Simmons there. Do this, and when in Rome. Right now I don't have maxed out perks, it's fine. Here we go. And again, we're going to be able to see the hot tag. Now you see we can't do it. Saw how quickly our tag went down? Alright, let's hit our buff one time, and then we are just going to repeat the same move over and over and over. You see we are at 126 million on our health meter up there. We don't have any other perks. This is just a Hall of Famer with max levels. All right, 34 billion. Just chipping away. Chipping away. And every time we hit, we're hitting, triggering our Piper plate. This does about the same whether you hit the buff or you hit the Piper. This just makes our first hit actually hit something. But either way, it's fine. It's probably actually better without. So with one buff And one hit, we're at 2,000,007. We'll look at that next time when we refresh. The one click makes this incredibly fast, but incredibly slow. And I say incredibly slow just because you're breaking the board and waiting for a resolve every time. All right. This time, Roman's going to hit us. Small hit. We'll go without. And we want to look at our third hit, I think it is. So after our first hit, we're at 600. Second hit. This time the Piper plate should be active. So this hit is what matters. We were at 2.7, I think. How is that less? I don't understand how that's less. Piper plate is 500%. Either way. You can see it's not as big as woods, but, you know, multis are king of the castle. And you're going to see that when we tag in... Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Tag him in. Let him take the big hit. Okay? And I should have just swiped, honestly. We would have done a lot better had we had a high 4, but that's okay. We're just using this to show. $31.62 billion. I'm curious to how much this does. I like the triple yellow better. I'm just prepping him for boss. Yeah, triple yellow is definitely the way to go for Titan with Seth. He took a 3 million hit right there. Just feels like a really light hit compared to what I'm used to. I mean, these multis are doing 20-something million, what's that? 26 million per multi. It's still a big hit, right? We're not complaining because we're not hitting hard enough. We are hitting hard enough. We're just going to go ahead and take a swipe here. That way we can get it down to 2 turns. Now, if you're really trying to stack, then you could go ahead and hit 1 time and let Zombie LA take this big hit next. So there's 1 buff. Because Seth is obviously not going to live through another big hit. So let's go ahead and bring in LA. And our yellows are doing 5 million. This is our own botch gems. I think this is the right call to just go ahead and blow up the board 3 times. 29.99 billion. Nope. it would have definitely done better this way. We still have our buff. It's just, I don't know, it just doesn't feel like the Piper Plate's stacking. Alright, let's see if he lives through this hit. Nope, he didn't. But this time when we bring in Seth, our reds should already be buffed. We'll be able to tell when we got a multi on them. $25. I think that's what it was with the second stack. No, that felt really weak. I'm saying this feels really weak, and yet we're at 6 billion. 32, I like that better. Okay. And we'd live another 2 turns. We'd survive those next 2 turns. Probably get another 2 billion. Putting us in the ballpark of about 8 billion. It's not bad. It's not our best, but it's not bad. I definitely like Seth, the yellow route, better than the botch. It's just so much stronger whenever it comes to the Titan. In fact, when I ran it with DK Cena, it was a difference of doing 10 billion difference between the two. So definitely a lot stronger. All right, so there's some other setups that we can do. I'm kind of going off of what straps I have. JBL, I feel like I've shown JBL before. He's my brute force guy, and I like tagging him with this guy. Both these guys do extremely good damage. It's long gameplay, so I'm not going to show it, but we will do... I have this video. I'm almost certain. You know what? Let's even look. I'm almost certain. KO, Tama. I just don't want to waste your time or mine. Hang on, I'll find it. Here was another pairing that I had done previously. So you see the 19 billion. That's going to be on the tier 4 boss. Let me see if I can find the one with Julius, though. So another good pairing. This is brute force. Just, I know both of these characters are really wailing. I get that. But it is an option if you have that out there. John Cena is doing snowfall damage, not move damage in this. Alright, so I'm not seeing it, so we'll just go ahead and just demo.
Playing from Mix S25 Ultra.
And this is... Oh, no. This gets really repetitive. So I don't want you to sit there and waste your time watching, just to see anything. We're already at 30 minutes, so I'm going to try my best to speed through this as best as possible. And I'll probably finish mine on this one. I want purple and multiply gem damage for old Julius right here. Strap. You know, you could put a multiply plate on there and do better. Absolutely. Okay, so JBL is very straightforward. We've got the nearing end plate on him, so we want to trigger that, throw out the multis, hit the finisher. Throw out the multis, hit the finisher. It's that simple. It's 5 moves. It fits perfectly into the boss thing right here. So we're at 34.46 billion. This will do about half a billion. Okay. I think it's like 700 million, in fact. So this should be close to 1.4 billion per hit. And I will come back once it's time to put Julius in, where you will see we didn't need MP trainers because we're hitting rainbow gems. We're going to end up being full on MP come Julius time. All right. And he basically did about, what's that, 8 billion worth of damage. And then we're going to bring Julius in and try to bring it home. Let's see how much he's going to do for us. His turn 2 setup is usually going to be a little bit better, for sure. Of course, got that there. All right. This is why we have the multis there. His gear is free with hangers. I just want to show y'all the damage we are about to do. You don't want to increase the number of traps because you'll end up overriding your multis. These are 40 million per. We're about to buff them again. A nice 3 billion hit. We, of course, did not recycle. That is the hardest thing, is getting that to recycle. We don't have a blue swipe here either. So we're going to risk it for the biscuit, just not get as good of a turn here. And we'll finish off with this because there's no reason for me to go back and get any higher on the tier 4. See that? How we still did not recycle. We're going to go ahead and just take a swipe here because there's nothing else we could do. That loaded the rest of the blue for us. We take our hit, and then we'll come over here and do another mini hit. I don't think we're going to live past the big hit. He's going to do a lot of damage this time. But the reason you want to put the multiply out on the second time you're going to hit is because you get the stack of the Thomas chest plus the stack of this move here, and that on top of the multis makes a really, we'll just show the difference, okay? Just to show you, here we go, we got our times 21s. It is 30 million. The second we hit this, it gives us a 300% buff, which brings us up to here. And again, we're doing even more when we break this. This is how we get our 3 billion hit with Julius. If only he had a hot tag. Man. Do you live? I don't think he lives. We've already had 3 big hits. Yeah, I didn't think so. All right, that's a wrap for Trickster Day. We could do one more. 17 billion. I'm not it was 19 billion with Cena, so both did really good damage. This is just a brute force build. No hot tags or anything like that special. And then, of course, for the final finale, our 3, we want to do 5, 4, and 3. We come down here, we will just go ahead and do this. Now, you could, Ozzy does decent, right? Oh, why not? I don't have any plates on Ozzy, which is the downfall of this. But I am going to show you how we can easily get some damage out of Ozzy. Okay. Let's get rid of these tier 5s. Just going to throw some stuff up there. And again, we're showing this because more people have Ozzy than have LA Knight. Y'all already saw the gameplay for LA Knight. There's nothing any different. He clears the tier 3 turn 1. So let's see what we could do with somebody like Ozzy. Okay, so I'm only going to do... Let's throw a barber's blade on him. How about that? %, does not hurt. Okay. Now, our number 2, we'll just bring in a strong number 2. I thought we did one with Seth. I must have pulled out, huh? Yeah. Okay. We'll throw Seth in there. So Ozzy, the man that everybody should have. Let's go ahead and throw our traps. Hit our buff, 150%. We're going to go ahead and hit that 1x3 area. And this first hit should not be huge. Throw the traps again. Now we've triggered the plate twice. We're doing 1.7 million. This isn't anything that's just going to break the bank, but it is something that should get you through for certain. This time, we could really only get that buff out there one time like that. Of course, something else you could do here is definitely throw in a black rumble, and that would be really good. The Eternal Bliss plate, very good on him, very strong on him. I've got a video on there. It's just one of those, I already moved the plates, so I thought I was done. I should have known that eventually he would work his way back into my life, and here we are. There are much stronger people for this, but when in Rome. Also, keep in mind, I don't have hype. You may have been hyping your Ozzy. All those things come into factor whenever we're building a Titan build. I think we might actually take him out this turn, but he would, you know, if I'm a free-to-play person, this is not a bad spot for our tier 3. I don't know if I would go tier 4 without some bigger plates. Really good cascade. Holy crap. We'll get it here. So it took out tier 3. So he is an option. Or it's going to, I hope. As long as we have a good cascade, right? Oh, I shouldn't have done that. You want to leave as many blacks on the board because he does have the ability to miss. See all those traps we're leaving? Oh, he was just short. Wow. Wow. Oh, but we raged and keep fighting. Good Lord, Ozzy. Alright, and that's just with a barber's blade. So we got our platinum chest by taking him out. It's, again, is it the best? No. Is it usable? Yes. Is it going to be better with better things? Absolutely. Again, you throw a Black Rumble on there, you throw a Eternal Bliss, then you're cooking with Crisco, right? It's going to be a lot better for you. But that was a bare bones Ozzy, still getting the job done on the turn 3. Make sure to do your Titans daily.